Welcome back to New Rockstars, I'm Erik Voss, and Wolverine is now confirmed to exist in the MCU with a strategically snicked Easter egg in She-Hulk episode 2 reporting man fights with metal claws in bar brawl. Hey, come on, where's the music? Man fights with metal claws in bar brawl. Yes, thank you. Considering this reveal comes right between Marvel Studios revealing its first MCU mutant in Kamala Khan, and we expect some announcements about mutants at D23, this was no random egg fart. While it takes the form of a headline you might read about my home state of Florida, and a slow news day topic at that, bar fight with metal claws, that's it? Unless it was the governor at the China section of Epcot, bump it to page 12. This detail nonetheless establishes the existence of Wolverine and perhaps other X-Men in the MCU already, while also giving us some insight of where Marvel Studios is at with their origin timeline, and therefore how Marvel plans to introduce the X-Men to this universe. Since Disney reacquired the film rights to the X-Men in recent years, and since the abrupt killing off of Patrick Stewart's Charles Xavier in Multiverse of Madness indicated Marvel Studios is more likely to reboot its mutants with new actors in the MCU, the central question of the mutants' new MCU origin has been, have the mutants always existed in the MCU, just hidden from us? Or did some recent events spawn them into existence? And I suppose a related question would be, did Wolverine and Captain America fight together in World War II? And if so, did Logan know who Cap was f***ing? Kamala Khan was established as an enhanced individual with a genetic predisposition that Bruno called a mutation, and Marvel Studios baptized this as a mutant confirmation with Ron Wasserman's X-Men theme. But this headline about a man with metal claws in a bar fight is clearly a nod to the first Fox X-Men film in 2000, in which Logan participated in cage fights in a bar in Alberta, Canada, and then afterwards a bitter dude threatens him with a knife, so Logan snicks his claws at this dude's neck, and then for good measure slices the bartender's shotgun. Now I doubt this headline in She-Hulk is referencing that specific scene as something that happened in the MCU continuity. Hugh Jackman will probably not be the 616 MCU's primary Wolverine. He may cameo as Wolverine from another universe like 838, hopefully in a future crossover event like Secret Wars. But really, Wolverine in any universe has a habit of getting into bar fights. The dude was even ready to take a swing at Charles and Magneto in X-Men First Class.
Excuse me, I'm Eric Lensher.
Charles Xavier.
Go yourself.
But the fact that the headline did not call the man Wolverine or call him a mutant suggests that Wolverine is not yet a known figure, not yet a member of the X-Men, still a lone wanderer who might not even realize that what he is a mutant. This also indicates that mutants in X-Men currently in the MCU are still in their infancy as a class of superheroes. So why only now are mutants spawning? Kamala Khan always had that genetic condition, but she needed a conditional event to activate and unlock those powers. In her case, it was the bangle. We think a form of Kree-tech that emits a kind of cosmic radiation. The popular theory is that something similar has happened recently to activate dormant mutants throughout the 616 universe. Specifically, the universe-wide release of cosmic radiation in the form of the snapping of the Infinity Stones, which technically, remember, occurred 4 times. I do see the logic of this explanation, and it would explain why we haven't seen mutants until now, but the issue I can't get around is that this would deprive these mutant characters of some of the most interesting things about them from the comics, their histories. Erik Lensher, Magneto, is a Holocaust survivor. That trauma left him with a lifelong hatred toward humanity and the evil humanity is capable of when its bigotry goes unchecked. Now, the present year of the MCU is 2025, so for the MCU Magneto to be a Holocaust survivor, he would have to be in his 80s at least. That would limit what kind of stories they could really tell with Magneto. Like, they could pull an X-Men First Class and do a story set in an earlier decade with Eric and Charles as younger men, but if they wanted to do a present-day Magneto story, they would either have to settle for an octogenarian villain, which isn't the worst thing in the world, he could still be 80 and fit, or maybe they could use the quantum realm or Kang timeline meddling to justify how Magneto could be in the present day without being super old. Maybe they could cross over a younger Magneto from another universe, but in that case, would this Magneto have the same history with the 616 Charles and all the other characters? See, it's just kind of a mess. Now, Marvel Studios could retcon Magneto's origins so that he is a survivor of some other more recent war crime or humanitarian crisis, but I don't know. I would not want to begin speculating which dark chapters in human history are comparable enough to the Holocaust to permit appropriating them for Magneto's origin. Really, an even trickier example for the MCU is Wolverine. Now, you might notice that when we make these videos, there's a little bit more that goes into it than just flipping on a webcam. New Rockstars is a whole team of editors that makes our stuff look slick. after it's been recorded, but not everybody has a team like that. If you've ever wanted to start making content of your own, but you haven't because you don't have an editor, well, Edit It is here to help. With editit.tv, you can hire an editor that specifically understands how to edit for YouTube. On their homepage, you'll find a leaderboard designed to provide the best freelancers for the content you want to make. You can rate and review your editor to help boost their position on the website, or find editor reviews to find the one that's just right for you. Or hey, maybe you already know how to edit and you want to sign up to edit videos for other creators. Well, Edit's got you covered there too. You can build a profile, set your rates, and you'll be editing in no time. And if you're going to be making a lot of content, Edit has a premium service for $25 a month. It'll get you unlimited orders on the website and no transaction fees. So go for it. Get that theory video you've been noodling on out of your head and onto the web. All you got to do is check out editit.tv to learn how to make YouTube videos without knowing how to edit. Wolverine's mutation is not adamantium claws, of course. His mutation is regeneration and bone claws that protrude from his knuckles. His adamantium skeleton came from the US government trying to replicate the proto-adamantium from Captain America's shield in the Weapon Plus program. A subdivision of that was Weapon X, X referring to the Roman numeral 10, Logan being the 10th experiment after Weapon 1, that being Steve Rogers. So Weapon X kidnapped the regenerative mutant super soldier from the Black Ops unit Team X, Logan, and fused adamantium to his skeleton surgically. Therefore, Wolverine's history is inextricably linked with the history of Captain America and the Super Soldier program. And now with Wolverine in the MCU, Marvel has a great opportunity to explore another dark side of the Super Soldier program while Cap was in the ice throughout the 20th century, like what we saw with Bucky and Hydra, or Isaiah Bradley and the torturous experience he went through, or even one could argue Bruce Banner and Emil Blonsky. Now we meet another super soldier left with scars, one suffering from amnesia, and one who is Canadian. But the fact that this headline says metal claws strongly indicates that Wolverine likely existed before the snap, because he would have needed time for Weapon X to find him and to operate on him. Otherwise, the recent burst of cosmic radiation would have had to first activate his regenerative powers, and a team of scientists with liquid adamantium would have had to operate on him, and he would have had to escape all within the past few years. And in this version, Wolverine wouldn't have been the awesome forever soldier who fought in several wars throughout US history. This kind of shoehorned rush origin, I guess, is possible. It just limits Marvel Studios in a way that they've never limited themselves before, in a way that they definitely do not have to do now. Marvel Studios has again and again signaled that they want to move past the blip and not focus their stories setting them during those 5 years. Therefore, while I still believe some energy-based activation was necessary to awaken mutants in the MCU, I don't think the snap was the sole inciting incident. I think over the decades, in fact over the centuries, over the millennia, several individuals with mutant genes have gotten activated by cosmic influences like Kree tech, like the 10 Rings or the Bangles, or maybe someone else fumbled the Tesseract at some point in history, leading to a small number of mutants beginning to emerge throughout the 20th century, existing unbeknownst to the wider population, and then recent events with the snaps woke up a lot more of them. This way, Marvel could establish not just Wolverine, but other older mutants like Nathaniel Essex, Mr. Sinister, Apocalypse, all of these old timers existing in the past of 616. Kevin Feige got his start as an associate producer on the set of that 2000 Fox X-Men film that She-Hulk just referenced. He was the nerd in the room with the best instincts of what elements of superheroes need to be prioritized in films. I think our man knows the essential parts of Magneto and Wolverine are their dark histories from the wars of the 20th century. And yeah, who wouldn't want to establish that Steve Rogers and Logan could have crossed paths in World War II, if for no other reason than to just show Logan seeing Cap marching past with the 107th, Logan taking out his cigar and grunting, "That bub f***s." Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at EA Voss, and subscribe to New Rockstars for more analysis of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.